This is Jarrod Horak, and in this video I'm going to share the latest Breeders' Cup Classic news, and I'm going to talk about the post-position draw as well. Now, the big news of the day, obviously, Sovereignty spiked a fever, and his participation in the Breeders' Cup Classic is up in the air. We're going to know that answer in the near future, and I'm not going to speculate if he is or isn't going to run. I have no idea. His connections have a much better idea how serious this is and if they're going to run or not, and you better believe that if he does run, he's going to be 100% fit and ready to run a good race. Bill Mott's a very patient trainer. He's not going to run a horse just because they're there. If he does run, it'll be because he's 100% and he knows that he has a good chance to win the event. And now we're going to talk about the post-position draw. And Fierceness got the inside post, and that's not ideal for him, but it might not be a deal breaker. We'll just have to see. We never know how the post-position draw is going to go, how they break from the gate. Sometimes they could fall into a great trip. Other times things could happen. Horses around them could cause them trouble. So we just don't know what's going to happen there. But we do know that Fierceness did handle the inside post in the Grade 1 Pacific Classic at Del Mar at 1.25 miles in August. But he did veer in sharply, almost went over the temporary rail. His rider, John Velasquez, was able to straighten him out. He was tracking the pace. He got the jump on his main rival, Journalism, and he won that race by more than 3 lengths. Now, that wasn't a tough spot. There were only 7 horses in there. Nisos was one of the top contenders, but he ended up scratching. And then Journalism was very patiently handled at the back of the pack. And Fierceness was just surrounded by overmatched allowance horses. So he was just able to work out a decent trip, put away those overmatched horses, and made a decisive early move. And Journalism at the back of the pack could never catch him and never got more than closer than 3 lengths. So Fierceness did handle that inside post before, but he's one that has been known in his career. When things go absolutely right, he runs huge. When things aren't perfect, sometimes he doesn't run a great race. And the Whitney was an example of that, where he did work out a decent enough tactical trip from an outer post, but contrary thinking was a rabbit in there. He was the pacemaker for Sierra Leone, and contrary thinking whizzed by Fierceness, and then Fierceness went too fast earlier in the race, set it up for the late runner Sierra Leone. So we've seen before that Fierceness can have some difficulty, but he's classy enough to win this race. He ran well in both starts at Del Mar, easily winning the Pacific Classic at 1.25 miles, and then his other good start at Del Mar was in the Breeders' Cup Classic last year, and he ended up finishing second. He was all over a hot pace there, and Sierra Leone defeated him that day, and Forever Young was third. And all 3 of those horses are back this year. Now, Baeza from Post 2, I don't think Post 2 is going to bother Baeza. He's going to be rallying from off the pace anyway, so maybe he'll be able to tuck in and save some ground behind the speed, and then hope the speed comes back to him. The main thing here is his first start against Older. We're going to see how he does, and he hasn't won at 1.25 miles yet. He was third in both starts at 1.25 miles in the Kentucky Derby and the Belmont Stakes. He picked up his first Grade 1 win last time out at 1 1/8 in the Pennsylvania Derby, and he has looked good training for this event. Number 3 in here is Nevada Beach, and he's one that can definitely be forwardly placed, and he has a lot of upside. He's only run 4 times, and he's improving his speed ratings, and he's getting better, and he became a Grade 1 winner against Older Company when he ran down Full Serrano last time out. So that was a nice effort. Third in that race was his stablemate Privman, and Privman came back and won a minor stakes race. So winning that Grade 1 Goodwood at 1 1/8, good effort there. Post position shouldn't bother him. He should be fairly forwardly placed. Contrary thinking, which I'll talk about in a minute, he's the pacemaker for Sierra Leone. And for Nevada Beach, I think he can be up there somewhere near Fierceness, tracking the pace in here. The big question is going to be, is he ready in just his 5th lifetime start to jump up there and win a big race like this? He's never run 1.25 miles before. This is the deepest field he's ever seen. As I said, he's all upside. He should continue to get better with experience and more races under his belt, and we'll find out if he's ready to win a race like this. He seems to be training well enough. Number 4 is Contrary Thinking, and his only job in here is to get out there and set the pace for his stablemate Sierra Leone. That's exactly what he did in the Whitney when he dueled on the lead, and he ended up easing that day in finishing last of 9 at 70-1. And Sierra Leone did win it, and they set it up for him. 47, 111, and 3. They weren't flying, but he gave Sierra Leone enough pace help. And then in Last time out, the Jockey Club Gold Cup. Contrary thinking was able to get out there, and he just ran off to a big early lead. He weakened to finish 7th, and that day, in that Jockey Club Gold Cup, he was 70-1 again, and his stablemate Sierra Leone rallied to finish 2nd. Antiquarian from the outside post was able to work out a good trip. Mindframe lost the rider. Sierra Leone had to jump over fallen rider Irad Ortiz Jr., and he ended up finishing 2nd. But Contrary Thinking did his job in the last 2 starts for Sierra Leone, and he's in there to set the pace again. Number 5 in here is Forever Young, and I thought he did well at the post draw because he was down stuck in the inside post in the Breeders' Cup Classic last year, and they had to hustle him away pretty hard early to maintain position there. And the fractions were fast, 44-4, 109-2. And Forever Young was up on the pace. Fierceness was up on the pace, but they could not hold off Sierra Leone there, who had a full head of steam, and he was able to defeat them. Now, since that race, Forever Young has won 3 of 4 starts, including 2 Grade 1 victories, and 1 was in the Grade 1 Saudi Cup. And then he was 3rd in the Dubai World Cup. That wasn't his best career effort by any stretch of the imagination. And then he had a nice prep race in Japan for this at 1 mile and an eighth, winning that race as expected as the favorite. That was just a prep race. There was no need to empty the tank. He just needed to get a race under his belt, his first start since April. So he seems to be coming to this race in good order. He's more than capable of winning a race like this. He's classy. He's got 9 wins in 12 career starts, and he ran well in both starts in this country at 1 mile and a quarter. The Grade 1 Kentucky Derby last year, he was 3rd, just beaten ahead. Sierra Leone was 2nd that day, and he's meeting that rival again. And then in the Breeders' Cup Classic last year, again, Sierra Leone and Fierceness 1-2. Forever Young was 3rd. More than capable of winning this. I would not leave this horse off your tickets, because if he runs his best race, he's going to be right there at the finish. Sovereignty got the 6th post. That's a good post for him if he does indeed run here. Now, he's versatile. He can come from far back if they need to, if the pace is really quick, or he can just track the pace like he did in the Belmont Stakes, the Jim Dandy, and the Travers Stakes. We'll see if he does run, what kind of running style they decide to use in here. And I think a lot of it depends on tactics. If they just let Contrary Thinking go out to a huge early lead, you're going to see horses like Fierceness on Nevada Beach, even Forever Young with tactical speed. They're going to be sitting behind that one, just waiting to decide when they want to move, which horse is going to make the first move, and then multiple horses may be making that move, and Sovereignty could be one of them if he runs. Fierceness in post 7, that's, Sierra Leone in post 7, that's not going to bother him at all. He always finishes in the top 3, 13 starts, 5 wins, 5 seconds, and 3/3. He's a closer. Doesn't really matter which post position he has. Now, he had post 11 in the Classic last year in a 14-horse field. He was able to work out a clean closing trip, and he got a lot of pace help, and he was able to win that race. He won the Grade 1 Whitney earlier this year, rallying from further back. Now, he was 18 lengths back last time in the Jockey Club Gold Cup because he had to jump over the fallen rider. He was further back than they wanted him to be. If he wasn't as far back, most likely he defeats Antiquarian in that race, and he would be coming into this race with back-to-back Grade 1 wins. Now, Sierra Leone's on top of his game, and he won this race last year as a 3-year-old. He's just as good, if not better, as a 4-year-old, and you just know that he'll probably run a good race. He always does finish in the top 3. Now, as for Sierra Leone, if he's going to win the race, you're going to see him make that decisive move, that earlier move, and get involved and get close to the leaders around the far turn. He's not going to be able to come from far back and run them down in deep stretch. He's going to need to make that move like he did in the Classic last year, where he was able to get fairly close around the far turn and then just wear down Fierceness. Mindframe is number 8. Don't think the post is going to bother him. He's got some positional speed. The biggest question for him is how fit is he going to be, because in the Jockey Club Gold Cup, he lost the rider. That was on August 31st, and his start prior to that, you have to go back to the Stephen Foster when he defeated Sierra Leone, when he just had the better trip. The pace was moderate, and at 1 mile and an eighth, he was able to win that Grade 1 Foster on June 28th. So that was his last official start. I think I'd like him a lot more if he was in the dirt mile. He can handle a variety of distances, but his wins this year, the Gulfstream Park Mile, the Grade 1 Churchill Downs, and then the Grade 1 Stephen Foster mile, mile and an eighth, and 7 furlongs. So we'll see. He still has to answer some questions at 1 mile and a quarter. He has 2 starts at 1 mile and a quarter. He tossed the rider once, and he was a close second in the 2024 Belmont Stakes when it looked like he had a good shot to win that one, and he drifted out. Seems more professional this year, but I am concerned that they're in this race because maybe this is the end of his career, and they wanted him to win a mile and a quarter Grade 1 race for stallion purposes. I think, as I said, I'd much rather see him in the dirt mile, and he's going to have to run a career best speed rating to beat this field. But prior to the Jockey Club Gold Cup, he had 7 starts with 5 wins in 2 seconds, so he's very consistent. Journalism number 9. Not sure what kind of running style they're going to use in here. He's one that all along his trainer, Michael McCarthy, said he can be closer to the pace. He thought maybe he could have been closer to the pace in the Kentucky Derby. In the Preakness Stakes, he got into all that trouble, and he was able to overcome it and just get up in the nick of time there. In the Belmont Stakes, he tracked out in the clear. He was able to get the jump on Sovereignty, but Sovereignty just ran him down, and Sovereignty defeated him in the Derby as well. And then in the Haskell, he made a nice late run. The Pacific Classic, as I said, he tried to rally from last there, but Fierceness just got the jump on him. And then they switched riders. Now they're going to use Jose Ortiz. Ortiz came in and he worked him on October 26th. So he got acquainted with journalism. And now we're going to find out what kind of trip that they're going to decide to use here. He's one that does have more positional speed, and I think maybe they want to use that positional speed. That's probably why they hired Jose Ortiz. They want to shake things up, get a more aggressive ride. And then Antiquarian from post 10. He's got the outside post just like he did in the Jockey Club Gold Cup when he was able to stay out of all of the trouble, track outside, get the jump on Sierra Leone, and win that race. But he needed breaks to go his way that day. That day, Mindframe lost the rider. Sierra Leone had trouble with the back of the pack. Antiquarian from the outside post was sitting 4th in an 8-horse field out of all of that trouble from that outside post, and he was able to get the jump and win it. Now, he is improving, but some others in here are going to be improving as well. So this is the deepest field that he's going to be meeting, and he can't expect horses to get in trouble in here and for him to win it. And that's my look at the post draw, what I think of the post positions for the different horses, the running style, the race shape, and then my thoughts on Sovereignty as well. Whether he'll run or not, we'll have to see. Things will really change. Obviously, if Sovereignty doesn't run, the betting is going to be much different in this event. So stay tuned for that. And I will be doing a final Breeders' Cup video for the Classic where I'm going to go through the field and give out my top choice later this week. And we'll know if Sovereignty is going to be running or not by that time. And if you're interested in my full card analysis for the Breeders' Cup days, I'm covering both Breeders' Cup days on October 31st and November 1st. You can get my full cards at therunawayhorse.com on my shop page. I will have my full cards for both Breeders' Cup days complete 2 or 3 days before race day, and I will update tickets after scratches each of the Breeders' Cup days. Now I'm going to be covering full cards every day for the Del Mar Fall Meet. I finished my October 30th full card. That one's on my site now. I'm going to be finishing the first Breeders' Cup day soon, and then the second Breeders' Cup day after that. As I said, 2 or 3 days before race day, those Breeders' Cup cards will be done. I do these annual Breeders' Cup full cards each year, and I've had a lot of success over the years. I cover Southern California racing every year, and it's at the Breeders' Cup's at Del Mar, and hopefully I've had a lot of success at Del Mar. I had a good Del Mar summer meet, and then a good Santa Anita autumn meet, so I hope I can carry my momentum right in to Breeders' Cup week and do well for the 2 Breeders' Cup days. So that'll do it for this video. Don't forget to like, comment, and share these videos if you like them. Subscribe to my channel as well. It's free to subscribe. And until I see you next time, good luck at the races.